everybody. Welcome to Home Cooking with Deb. We have a very exciting guest with us today. It's my brother Barry from Nashville, Tennessee. He's come all the way up here so he can cook this special meal for you. He's a diabetic, and say hello, everybody, Barry.
Hey, I'm Barry. I'm a diabetic. Now the cat's out of the bag.
So what we're going to do is we're going to cook one of his meals to show you if maybe you know, you're having trouble trying to figure out interesting food to cook if you're a diabetic. Maybe you're a new diabetic and you're getting into the new diet. He's going to show you what he does, and that was Zucchero barking, on a regular basis, how he cooks and makes his food really tasty and interesting. So what we're going to do for you tonight, we're going to do a split chicken and put it on the grill, and he's going to show you how to cut that in half. We're going to do a delicious coleslaw. So for the coleslaw you need obviously cabbage. We're going to put a red onion, a couple of carrots, some mayonnaise, white vinegar he likes to use, and then we're going to do this really interesting sort of a ratatouille vegetable melange. And we have a zucchini, some yellow squash, a red pepper, a nice great big tomato, and a yellow onion, and he'll show you how to cut that up and get that going. Then we're going to do lentils because, you know, diabetics need protein. They can't have things like carbohydrates, so you can't have bread and you can't have pasta and all that stuff. So he likes to supplement with lentils and pinto beans and things like that. So tonight we're going to do a lentil dish that's one of his favorites that he kind of adds on to all of his meals. So Barry, you want to go ahead and tell us what your first step is?
Yep. Well, my first step is we've put some lentils, the lentil beans, into a pot right here, and what you want to do, the lentils,
and you use
about an inch or so above to where they are. They're going to soak up a little bit and they're going to expand. And what I would do right now is probably put this on, just put it on high. These should take about an hour, something like that, because you cook them real slow. Most beans take at least an hour. If you're doing pinto beans, you can do the soaking overnight method, where you soak them overnight and then you put them on extremely low heat. Beans are always cooked very, very, very slow. If you have a crock pot, that's actually the best way, and you put it on low and you let it go for 24 hours. Okay. If you cook them too quickly, they pop. They'll open up and they'll pop.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. And
so then, while we're cooking the lentils, which takes about an hour, we'll prepare the chicken.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
We're going to go with that. I can also, once I cut this chicken up and we get it salted and peppered, that's all we're going to use is salt and pepper. There's going to be no other spices on it at all. Chicken tastes great just the way that it is. If you start adding barbecue sauces or things like that, they have sugar in them. It's just stuff that diabetics don't need to be having. And then while that's kind of like sitting here, kind of the salt and pepper marinating into it, then I'm going to go ahead and cut up the yellow squash and zucchini and stuff and get that ready for ratatouille in this smaller pot. And then I'll go ahead and cut up the celery and carrots and onion to go in with the lentil beans. And,
now, Barry also told me that he likes to put some chicken broth or vegetable stock in with that. I just don't happen to have any tonight, but that's not a problem. You said it still tastes good with
No, you don't have to. And then another secret on any of those type of things is if you have a can of tomato sauce, just plain tomato sauce, you can throw tomato sauce in it, and it gives it a little bit of that flavor.
That's a good idea.
If you have bouillon cubes, chicken, beef, vegetable bouillon cubes, you can throw two or three of those in there, and it kind of makes its own broth. If you've roasted a chicken the night before, you save the broth. You use that broth to cook your beans in, especially pinto beans.
Great. So let's go ahead and cut up that chicken.
I always cut things with an extremely sharp knife, and you just put it down in the center. And as you can see, it's not as sharp as I like it. Down in Tennessee, I have a razor sharp knife that will actually cut right through it this way. But once you get it going, you can actually go through the back of the chicken like this. And see, if this is how, if you have a dull knife, you'll cut yourself, because when you slip, you're pushing too hard, the dull knife will cut you. So, but you cut it open like that, go right straight down the middle here. And as you can see, it's split in half. then what you can do is you can rinse it off.
Inside and out, so it's nice and clean. And we've got it on a, just a cookie sheet here. And you're gonna put your salt and pepper.
Yeah. And then what I do is I always take this side first, the inside of the chicken, and I'm generous with the salt and the pepper because remember, if you cook this on the grill, it's going to cook a lot of this right off of that. It's going to burn it right up. But it actually cooks into the chicken very slowly. And
this is a real spicy pepper, just so
yeah, and that's what we want. It's going to burn the pepper up. You see how much I'm putting on there?
That's a lot of pepper.
Yes, it is. And that the grill is going to burn that right up.
Okay.
Believe me. Everyone thinks it's going to be hot and spicy, but it will not be. Believe it or not. So you got to go into the wings. And it looks like a lot.
It does.
It really is not a lot.
That scares me.
Then what you do is you rub it.
Okay, so you rub it in.
Yeah, you kind of rub it in.
Now, Barry, about how long do you think this will take on the grill?
It takes about a half an hour on one side on the grill.
And you put
you take
the meaty side down first?
You put this side down.
The underside down.
The underside down first, and you let it, and then this all will get browned up and kind of crust over a little bit. And then when you flip it over, it won't stick to the other side of the grill and then tear the skin off. Yeah.
So what we've done is we've got our grill going and it's heated up and we've oiled the grill. And just use a plain vegetable oil to do that, and then that will help also with it not sticking.
Right. And now what I'm going to do right now is we're just going to take this, we're going to set it on the side, and we're going to let it marinate.
So while Bear's washing up after cutting the chicken, because don't forget, you've been handling chicken, you want to make sure you get everything off your hands, because the next step he's going to be cutting fresh vegetables. So he doesn't want to contaminate the fresh vegetables with the chicken. So while he's doing that, the lentils started to boil, and there they are, and we turn them down to super low, and we're going to let those simmer while we take the chicken out.
Yeah, so the chicken's I want to get that going first. And then there is a lot of vegetables to cut up, and I do them a certain way for myself. So I just go like that. Of course, they actually will go better if you have the flat side down. You always want to make sure, watch out. And then when you're cutting vegetables, you want to keep your fingers underneath like that. You want to stick your fingers out, see? Otherwise you cut them off. You can if you want to, but you can actually, if you want smaller pieces, you can quarter it up, and then you can go ahead and do that. And that's pretty much what I wanted to. I could really go quick with it, but, I'm not here to show off.
I have to say that Barry used to cook for me when I was younger, and he's a fabulous cook, and he just comes up with the most interesting recipes. He's done all kinds of interesting things for me in the past, and it's just off the cuff. He's like, he sees what he has in the refrigerator, and he whips together the most incredible meal. And you know what? Sometimes I think that's just the best way. We also put an
onion. And I know my sister Deb, she has a certain way of cutting up an onion. I have a different way of doing it. See, an onion actually already has, and she calls it taking off the jacket. I noticed that she had mentioned that, and I had never heard it called that before. But
it's like a little coat, a little jacket.
And she's right. I never heard it said that way, but I actually cut it this way, and I lay it down flat. See, the onion already has little rows in it. See? So what I'll do is I'll go through here like this. And you do it like that. For the ratatouille, we're actually going to cut the onion differently.
Because we want nice big chunks.
Because we want nice big chunks. But for this, that's probably pretty good enough. And this is just going to go in. All this stuff now that we have in this bowl, the onions, the carrots, the celery, that's now going in with the ratatouille right now.
With the lentils.
I mean, with the lentils right now, yeah. And I'm getting
Gary does like to put some spices and herbs into his lentils. So we have some fresh parsley, some fresh oregano, and a couple of bay leaves.
Fine.
Okay, Barry,
she's got fresh stuff in the garden. I like the lentils. Had drank up all that water. Now I've already added some more water to it. So remember, we covered those lentils about 1 inch with water, and they had already absorbed all that. So you got to keep moisture in there. Okay. So and then, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and put all those vegetables. Now, once we do this, we may need to add more water. And there's a couple of bay leaves. You just kind of throw them in there. Oreganos and parsleys. You know, we'll just go ahead and we'll mince them up a little bit. There's our oregano and our parsley. She's looking at the grasshopper. That's because there's natural stuff. Now look at, they don't eat much when you put them in here. They actually do quite well. They add flavoring, and they're also very high in protein. Now there's another secret here. Never add salt to any beans that you're cooking. Any beans.
Why is that?
Because it hardens the beans. You can add pepper if you want to add some pepper, fresh ground pepper. Looks like we're going to need to add a little bit more water. You can see that that's what we want to do. There we are. You want it just to be like that.
Like a little soupy kind
like a little, yeah, because
like
it's gonna cook off. That water's gonna cook off. The beans are still gonna swell some more. And what you want to do is leave them cooking very. Go ahead and slow. Do this ratatouille. We'll get all that in a pot. This does not take very long to cook at all. You don't want to cook squash and zucchini and all that too much because it turns into a mush. Our main objective is to get the grill on, get the thing going, get the chicken going, cook that thing until we know that it's thoroughly done. And it'll actually fall apart. You'll see when we get it done, it'll just fall apart and we pull the leg and the thigh right off.
I'm already hungry. We'll catch up with you in a few minutes when we're on the grill. So here we are, we're out here at the grill. It's all heated up and oiled. And go ahead, Barry.
All the way down on low, which is what you want. You want it to cook at about 300 to no more than 350 degrees. Here's our split chickens that have been salt and peppered, no other ingredient on it. And then what we do is we just take it and we lay that down like that. Take the other one, lay it down like that. The timer is now set for about a half an hour. What we're going to do is we're going to let these things go nice and slow for probably 20 minutes, and then check them. This is the tops of these are going to brown over. They're going to roast over, and they're going to get nice and kind of crusty.
So they're going to get brown while it's cooking from the bottom. So
yes.
It's going to cook from underneath, and it'll start to cook.
Yeah, because it's like an oven on top here.
Right.
And it'll firm all this stuff up so that within a half an hour or so we can flip them over, and they'll cook for about 20 minutes to a half an hour on the other side. Now what we're going to do is, we got a half an hour, we're going to go in and get that ratatouille and get the coleslaw going.
Okay.
And that's it.
We'll be right back.